Hey everybody, Paul Turner here with the discipleproject.net, and welcome to The Drop, where I listen to Christian music that dropped last week so you can use it in your youth ministry this week. So let's get it started.
The one I serve is the most high. Pull up to the curb in my 05.
Yeah, I know this is the last week of January, but to be honest with you, it was kind of a slow start. And so kind of to accumulate some good music to get to you guys. And so let me bring to you, first of all, Danny Gokey and Rise.
Hey, don't really matter what I do.
Danny Gokey this is an album I think where he's really coming to his own. It's an album that you can listen to all the way through. It's kind of an album you just want to chill with. Very Justin Timberlake-ish. I really like the vibe on it. I really like the sound. For your youth room, I recommend things like Stronger Than We Think, the Brian Todd remix at the end. Lessons, being February coming up and all, with Valentine's Day. Symptoms is a great song to talk about if you want to talk about love or the symptoms of love or the symptoms of knowing you're in love. And of course you can relate that with both the physical relationships we have with one another, but also with our relationship with God. What are the symptoms or signs that we're in love? And this becomes a great song to kind of reflect on with that. Also, great song, Masterpiece. This is a great song because it talks about our creation, right? It talks about us being masterpieces in the eyes of God. And by the way, I got some curriculum that goes along with that if you're interested, called Transformed. That'll be in the link down below. And also, Masterpiece also becomes a great altar call song. It's just an opportunity for kids to come forward and say, look, God made me, God accepts me as I am, God has breathed life into me, and I am his masterpiece. It's really a great song that if you're preaching about value, if you're preaching about self-esteem, if you're preaching about identity, this becomes just a great song to call kids forward and say, listen, you are God's masterpiece. All right, let's break it down now with Social Club and the Adventures of Fern and Marty.
Eagle on my arm like I'm Ghostface. Stack a bunch of paper up until I get my own place.
Social Club is back, and this is not a party album, if you will. It's much deeper, much more mature, a little bit more grown up. Songs from the youth room, like Who Else, with Andy Mineo on there as well. How Good, Usual Suspects, Extra Wavy, which is the last track. All of those are great songs you can just play and let it go. Kids will be tuned into it. As far as a lesson, if you want to look for a good lesson here, I would recommend How Good. And it talks about, the goodness of God and how good God has been, especially to Marty and Fern. Fern's got a great testimony. I put a link in the notes down below there. It's also, if you sign up for the Fresh Impact newsletter, the link will be with that as well. But it really is a great 15-minute testimony that he shares about his time in prison, his time rejecting the church, his time going through all those things. And you could really combine that video with How Good and get a really good lesson, get really good talk back on it, and get your kids sharing about it. Next, we have Jimi Cravity and his new EP, Heaven.
Every knee will bow.
Jimi Cravity is a new artist to me. I'm not familiar with him, but it gives me a very much kind of like an Aloe Black kind of sound maybe. That's just my ears though. You tell me. Who does Jimi Cravity sound like to you? Leave me some comments down below. But this is just a hot album. When I got it, I immediately sent it to the guy who does worship with our youth ministry and said, look, man, there's a ton of songs in here. Just pick anything. Good stuff. But if you want stuff for the youth room, I recommend Beacon, Prada, Believe, all three great songs to play. Worship, let me tell you what, this is heavy on the worship side. Good stuff with Beacon, Go, Hallelujah. In fact, my worship leader chose Hallelujah as a song we did. It worked out really, really well. If you want to do a lesson around Beacon. Jesus being the light, but it's, like sickness and death and darkness, all this stuff's going to bow down to Jesus. If you decide to use Beacon in that, what a great thought maybe to have, maybe you've seen those beacon lights that you can use on the water when you go fishing to kind of let boats know that you're around, and you just have this blinking light while you're talking. I just thought of that. I thought, man, that'd be kind of cool to have this blinking flasher light going while you're talking about all these things and about Christ being the light. It's just a really cool concept. Let me know what you think about it. Love to hear what your thoughts and maybe how you might use this song. For Altar Time, Hallelujah is the song for me. It's a song where you can just encourage kids to come forward and worship God for who He is. It becomes just a great anthem to let kids, join in with and say, "Look, I want to, surrender my life to somebody who's worth surrendering to." And it becomes that kind of song. Finally, and one of my favorites, KJ-52 is back with an 8-song EP almost. It's an album, but it's only $5. I mean, what a cool deal, right?
With a limp and a close eye, fanny pack and I'm strapped for the whole night, and the spot's all packed and it's so live from the front to the back.
The thing I like about this album are the collaborations. He has some really great collaborations with Derek Minor, with Chris August. All these great artists on there is really making this album for me. But in your youth room, look, KJ does what KJ does. Really good songs. I've seen him in concert. He's really good. Seen him in festivals, all those kind of things. But the Get Down song, Best Day Ever, Nah Bro, these are just great songs. These are jams you want playing in your youth room. As well, if you look at lessons, I recommend Day Job. And More of You and Less of Me. But I like the Day Job song because there's so many kids, maybe for college and career, who are struggling and trying to work through their day job and trying to work on their dreams and their side hustle and, all these things. I think it just becomes a very cool song that you can say, look, this is your day job, but listen, you have other dreams, other goals, other things, and talk about how to work around your job so you can start accomplishing the things you want to accomplish. But that is it for today, guys. That is the drop. Hope you enjoyed my picks today. Let me know how you would use these songs in your ministry. If you're brand spanking new here to the channel, thanks for hanging out with me for a little while. Be sure to hit the subscribe button right over here. The circle right there. That'll get videos like this in your inbox. Also, if you're a regular, thanks so much for hanging with me. Appreciate you guys so much. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's know you like the videos and you want more of them. And I will catch you guys next time on The Drop.
Here comes the get down, get down. The get down, get down. Here comes the get down, get down.